Welcome back to the ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we're diving deep into the swirling drama and heart-pounding mysteries unfolding in Port Charles. From Drew Cain's desperate pleas to Willow Corinthos amid a shocking betrayal to the dark undercurrents threatening Sonny Corinthos' life, there's no shortage of twists and turns. We'll also explore Max Scorpio's latest investigation, Kai Taylor's risky surgery, and the emotional roller coaster surrounding Lulu Spencer and Dante Falconeri. Buckle up as we unpack all the juicy details and speculate on what's next for our favorite characters in this ever-evolving soap opera saga. Drew Cain's heartfelt plea and a web of deception. In a stunning turn of events, Drew Cain finds himself in a precarious position as he frantically tries to salvage his relationship with Willow Corinthos. Picture this: Willow walks into their shared space, only to be met with a sight that shatters her heart. Drew in bed with a mysterious woman named Jacinda. The air crackles with tension, as Willow's initial reaction is one of raw betrayal. Her eyes flash with hurt and anger, assuming the worst about Drew's fidelity. But Drew, ever the determined soul, refuses to let this misunderstanding tear them apart. He reaches out with trembling hands, his voice thick with emotion, begging Willow to listen before jumping to conclusions. He swears there's more to the story, insisting that this isn't what it seems. As he pieces together the fragmented memories of the previous night, Drew begins to suspect a sinister setup. Could he have been drugged? And if so, who would orchestrate such a cruel deception? Rumors swirl that Nina Reeves, with her own hidden agenda, might be pulling the strings. Nina, meanwhile, wrestles with a storm of regret over her involvement in this tangled plot, yet she allows the chaos to unfold, watching from the sidelines as Drew fights to clear his name. Will he uncover Nina's role in this scandal? Or will another shadowy figure emerge as the true mastermind behind his predicament? Sonny Corinthos, a life hanging by a thread. Over in the dangerous world of Sonny Corinthos, survival is never guaranteed. Fresh off a chilling assassination attempt by a sinister nurse, Sonny emerges battered but unbroken. However, the threat looms larger than ever, with unseen enemies lurking in the shadows of Port Charles. Carly Spencer, ever the protective force in Sonny's life, can't shake the gnawing fear that the person orchestrating these attacks will strike again, perhaps with deadlier precision. Her maternal instincts kick into overdrive as she seeks answers, turning to the enigmatic Jack Brennan for assistance. Brennan, with his keen mind for unraveling conspiracies, proposes a startling theory about who might be targeting Sonny. Speculation runs rampant. Could it be the notorious Jen Sidwell, a name whispered with dread in the underworld? Or does Brennan suspect a more personal vendetta from someone closer to home? As the mystery deepens, the stakes couldn't be higher. Sonny's recovery becomes a race against time, with every moment bringing the possibility of another strike. Will Carly and Brennan uncover the truth before it's too late? Or will Sonny's enemies finally succeed in their deadly mission? Max Scorpio dives into a new investigation. Meanwhile, the ever-dutiful Max Scorpio takes on a fresh case that promises to shake Port Charles to its core. As updates roll in about a recent crime, Max's investigative instincts are sharper than ever. Could this be tied to the chilling attempts on Sonny's life, or is there a separate storm brewing in the city? Whispers suggest that the PCPD might need to collaborate with law enforcement in Los Angeles if the crime links back to an explosive incident at Sonny's penthouse. Alternatively, Drew's predicament with Jacinda could become a focal point, as he might report a potential drugging to prove his innocence to Willow. Mac, methodical and relentless, pores over every clue, from witness statements to forensic evidence, determined to connect the dots. His presence brings a sense of order to the chaos, but with so many secrets buried in Port Charles, even Mac might find himself outmaneuvered. What crimes will he unearth, and how will his findings ripple through the lives of those entangled in these mysteries? Kai Taylor and Trina Robinson, a celebration turned tragic. On a lighter yet equally poignant note, Kai Taylor and Trina Robinson share a moment of joy at the Savoy, toasting to life and love ahead of Kai's upcoming surgery. The atmosphere is electric, with hope, laughter echoing through the elegant venue as they clink glasses under the soft glow of chandeliers. However, an ominous shadow hangs over their celebration. General Hospital has dropped subtle hints that Kai's procedure might not go as planned, leaving fans on edge. What if the worst-case scenario unfolds, and Kai awakens to find himself paralyzed, confirming Trina's deepest fears? The emotional fallout could be devastating, with Trina grappling with guilt for not pushing harder to dissuade him from such a risky operation. Kai, once full of optimism, might spiral into despair, questioning every decision that led to this moment. their bond will be tested like never before, forcing them to confront whether love can withstand such a life-altering setback. Will this surgery mark the end of Kai's dreams, or will Trina's unwavering support become his lifeline in the darkest of times? Jocelyn Jacks, a mission of charm and determination. Jocelyn Jacks, never one to shy away from a challenge, faces mounting obstacles in her latest endeavor but refuses to be deterred. With a steely resolve in her eyes, she sets her sights on charming the formidable Professor Henry Dalton to secure a coveted research assistant position, a critical step in her covert WSB assignment. Every interaction is a calculated move, from the way she tailors her words to impress the professor to the meticulous research she conducts on his interests. Her goal is clear: win Dalton over and prove her worth to key players like Vaughn and Jack Brennan. The pressure is immense, as failure could jeopardize her standing in this high-stakes operation. Yet Jocelyn thrives under the weight of expectation, crafting a plan that blends intellect with charisma. Will her efforts pay off, or will unforeseen complications derail her carefully laid plans? Emotional tangles: Lulu, Dante, and Brooklyn. The emotional landscape of Port Charles grows ever more complex as Brooklyn Quartermain wrestles with stress over Lulu Spencer's adoption story. The weight of this sensitive issue bears down on her, manifesting in sleepless nights and furrowed brows. Harrison Chase, ever her rock, steps in with a compassionate plan to ease her burden. He reaches out to Dante Falconeri with a favor, hoping Dante might sway Lulu to abandon the controversial article causing so much friction. Dante, however, treads carefully, aware of Lulu's fierce independence. Though he agrees to speak with her, their conversation takes an unexpected turn into deeply personal territory. As walls come down, Lulu bares her soul, confessing that her feelings for Dante have never truly faded. Tears glisten in her eyes as emotions pour out, rekindling a connection that time and circumstance couldn't erase. How will Dante respond to this raw admission, and can they navigate the messy intersection of past love and present loyalties? Family fallout: Christina, Alexis, and Molly's clash. Turmoil brews within the Davis family as Christina Corinthos Davis unleashes her fury on Alexis Davis over shocking documents that threaten to commit her to a mental institution. The betrayal cuts deep, and Christina's anger is matched by Molly Lansing Davis's own outrage, leaving Alexis caught in a storm of accusations and hurt. In a private, heart-wrenching moment, Alexis confides in Christina, revealing the harrowing circumstances that led to those papers. Whispers of Ava Jerome's blackmail linger in the air, with Alexis facing an impossible choice: could a stint in a mental facility be her only escape if a car sabotage scandal erupts? Christina's perspective shifts as she grapples with the weight of her mother's predicament, torn between resentment and empathy. Will this family find a way to heal, or will Ava's manipulations drive an irreparable wedge between them? Unraveling lies and lingering mysteries. As the week of May 5th approaches, Drew's web of deceit grows increasingly tangled. His decision to bribe a clinic worker to mislead Willow about Michael Corinthos' intentions could backfire spectacularly. Jason Morgan, ever the skeptic, might uncover the discrepancy with a simple phone call to Michael, igniting a firestorm of questions. Drew's carefully constructed lies risk unraveling, placing him under intense scrutiny. Simultaneously, Jason turns his attention to the relentless attacks on Sonny, digging for answers while the mob boss recovers from surgery. The mystery surrounding Sonny's enemies deepens, with every clue hinting at a larger, more sinister plot. As for Kai, the aftermath of his surgery could plunge him into a dark depression, especially if his condition deteriorates. Trina becomes his anchor, but the weight of his regrets, wishing he'd heeded her warnings, might prove too heavy to bear. How will these interconnected stories resolve, and who will emerge stronger from the chaos? Next, we're delving into the electrifying political storm brewing in Port Charles as Mayor Laura Collins faces an unprecedented challenge to her leadership. With Ezra Boyle leading a fierce campaign to unseat her, accusations of favoring Sonny Corinthos over the city's needs are flying fast and furious. We'll also uncover the fallout from Jordan Ashford's resignation, Ezra's potential rise to power, and the shocking moves against Police Chief Anna Devane. Join us as we explore every twist in this gripping storyline of ambition, betrayal, and power struggles that could reshape the very fabric of Port Charles. Ezra Boyle's relentless crusade against Laura Collins. In the heart of Port Charles, a political battle of epic proportions is unfolding as Ezra Boyle emerges as a formidable adversary to Mayor Laura Collins. With a steely determination in his eyes, Ezra has made it abundantly clear that he holds no admiration for Laura, accusing her of placing Sonny Corinthos' interests above the welfare of the city she swore to serve. His rhetoric is sharp, painting Laura as a leader whose loyalties are dangerously misaligned. The recent resignation of Deputy Mayor Jordan Ashford has only fueled Ezra's fire, providing him with a golden opportunity to strengthen his argument for Laura's removal. Whispers in the city suggest that Ezra isn't just content to criticize, he may harbor ambitions to claim the mayor's seat for himself. With every public appearance, he chips away at Laura's credibility, rallying citizens with promises of a Port Charles free from the influence of controversial figures like Sonny. Could this be the beginning of a seismic shift in local governance, or will Laura find a way to weather this storm of opposition? A vote of no confidence, Laura's fight for her legacy. As tensions escalate, Ezra pushes forward with a bold strategy to oust Laura from office. He proposes a formal vote to remove her as mayor, citing her alleged bias towards Sonny Corinthos as a betrayal of public trust. At city council meetings, Ezra's speeches are laced with fervor, painting Laura as a protector of criminal interests rather than a guardian of Port Charles's future. Laura, however, is not one to back down without a fight. With the grit and grace that have defined her tenure, she addresses the citizens directly, her voice resonating with conviction as she defends her record. She highlights initiatives that have benefited the community, from improved public safety to revitalized local businesses, urging voters to see through Ezra's smear tactics. Despite her impassioned pleas, Ezra remains a relentless force, using every platform to tarnish her image. At a recent press conference about the Esplanade's location, a decision Laura insisted should be voted on by the public, Ezra seized the moment to mock her leadership, framing her as indecisive and weak. Will Laura's dedication to transparency and democracy win over the hearts of Port Charles, or will Ezra's calculated attacks sway public opinion in his favor? Ezra sits triumph and Laura sits bitter defeat. The moment of truth arrives as the vote on Laura's mayoral position concludes with a heartbreaking outcome. She is stripped of her title. The halls of City Hall echo with murmurs of disbelief and resignation as Laura processes the loss of a role she poured her heart into. Ezra Boyle, quick to capitalize on his victory, is elected as interim mayor, a position he accepts with a smug smile. Citizens, swayed by his promises to prioritize Port Charles's interests over personal allegiances, see him as a refreshing change, especially his firm stance against allowing Sonny Corinthos's business dealings to flourish unchecked. In a private confrontation, Ezra gloats to Laura, his words dripping with condescension as he tells her to accept defeat and step aside. Laura, though wounded, warns him with a steely gaze that he's bitten off more than he can chew. She predicts that his overconfidence will lead to catastrophic missteps, potentially endangering the city he claims to champion. As Laura exits the office she once led, the weight of her words hangs in the air. Will Ezra's ambition be his downfall, or has he truly secured a stronghold over Port Charles? ADA Justine Turner's strategic maneuver against Devane. With Ezra firmly in power, a new player enters the fray. ADA Justine Turner, whose calculated mind sees an opportunity to reshape the city's leadership further. She pays a visit to the newly elected interim mayor, her demeanor polished yet brimming with intent to deliver a damning recommendation. Justine points a finger at Police Chief Devane, accusing her of leniency toward Jason Morgan, a figure closely tied to Sonny Corinthos. She argues that Anna's personal friendships cloud her judgment, rendering her unfit to enforce the law impartially. With a persuasive edge to her voice, Justine suggests that Ezra's first official act should be to dismiss Anna from her position, ensuring that no remnants of Sonny's influence taint the city's administration. Ezra, eager to solidify his image as a no-nonsense leader, nods in agreement almost instantly. He envisions a Port Charles where loyalty to the law trumps personal connections, seeing Anna's removal as a statement of his unyielding commitment to reform. Will this decision mark the beginning of a ruthless purge, or does it risk alienating key players who could fight back? Devane faces a harsh dismissal. The axe falls swiftly as Ezra Boyle marches into the Port Charles Police Department with a cold, authoritative air. Standing before Devane, he delivers the crushing news: her services as police chief are no longer required. His tone leaves no room for negotiation as he instructs her to clear out her desk and depart immediately. Anna, a seasoned professional with a storied career, is stunned but refuses to go quietly. She pleads her case with a mixture of frustration and resolve, detailing her tireless efforts to maintain order in a city rife with complexity. She warns Ezra that severing ties with experienced leadership could destabilize public safety, but Ezra remains unmoved. He doubles down, declaring that under his regime, no one associated with Sonny or Jason will hold a position of power. As he exits, ADA Justine Turner lingers in the doorway, a smirk playing on her lips. Stepping into the room, she reveals her role in orchestrating Anna's ousting, admitting with chilling satisfaction that she couldn't allow Anna's closeness to Jason to undermine justice. Anna fires back, promising that this isn't the end. Once Robert Scorpio learns of this injustice, she'll fight for reinstatement. Justine, however, counters with icy confidence, reminding Anna that the mayor's word is final. Can Anna rally the support she needs to reclaim her position, or has Justine's cunning secured a permanent victory? The ripple effects of power shifts in Port Charles. As the dust settles on these dramatic upheavals, the future of Port Charles hangs in a delicate balance. Laura Collins, stripped of her mayoral title, must grapple with the sting of defeat while contemplating her next move. Could she launch a grassroots campaign to reclaim her position, or will she uncover dirt on Ezra that exposes his true motives? Meanwhile, Ezra revels in his newfound authority, but Laura's warning of a looming mistake echoes ominously. Could his aggressive policies backfire, alienating the very citizens who elevated him? Anna Devane's dismissal sends shockwaves through the PCPD, raising questions about who will replace her and whether they'll bend to Ezra's stringent anti-Corinthos agenda. Justine Turner, basking in her behind-the-scenes influence, might find her gloating short-lived if Anna's allies, including Robert Scorpio, mount a fierce counterattack. The intertwining fates of these powerful figures promise a saga of intrigue and retribution. How will Sonny Corinthos and Jason Morgan respond to this hostile new regime, and will their influence find a way to persist despite Ezra's crusade? Next, we're diving into the simmering romantic tensions and hidden truths threatening to upend lives in Port Charles. We're flipping the narrative upside down to explore the latest rumors surrounding Michael Corinthos' anticipated return from abroad and the profound impact it could have on Sasha Gilmore Corbin. From buried emotions to shocking secrets, we'll uncover the layers of drama as Sasha grapples with her heart's desires and a tangled web of deception. Join us as we speculate on the explosive possibilities awaiting these star-crossed souls. A storm of complications, Sasha caught in a web of emotions and uncertainties. As whispers of Michael Corinthos' return echo through the cobblestone streets of Port Charles, Sasha Gilmore Corbin finds herself at the heart of a brewing tempest. The mere thought of Michael stepping back into her life sends ripples of anxiety and unspoken yearning through her. Their past, marked by a fleeting yet intense connection, looms large, threatening to disrupt the fragile balance she's fought to maintain. Complicating matters further is Sasha's intricate ruse. She's woven a tale that casts another man, a close confidant, as the father of her unborn child, when in reality, it ties back to Michael in ways she dares not reveal. Now, with Michael's return on the horizon, the stakes are higher than ever. Every casual encounter at Kelly's diner or lingering glance at a town event could unravel her carefully constructed facade. Will Sasha's facade hold under the weight of her unspoken affections, or will the magnetic pull toward Michael expose everything she's hidden? Adding to the chaos, there's the looming shadow of other relationships orbiting Michael, particularly a past flame who still holds a piece of his heart, ready to reignite old tensions at the slightest spark. The fragile facade, Sasha's hidden truth under siege. Sasha's greatest trial lies in safeguarding the monumental secret she carries, a truth so potent it could shatter lives if unveiled. She's painstakingly crafted a narrative that shields the real paternity of her child, pinning the role on a trusted ally to deflect suspicion. Yet, as Michael's return draws near, the cracks in her story begin to show. Each day, Sasha battles a torrent of emotions, her heart aching with the weight of what she conceals. The thought of Michael catching a glimpse of her pregnancy glow, or worse, piecing together subtle hints in her nervous demeanor, keeps her on edge. Imagine the torment as she navigates public spaces, dreading an innocent question about her baby that could lead to disastrous revelations. Rumors suggest that Michael might sense an unspoken bond, his intuition stirring as he observes Sasha from afar. If her resolve weakens during a vulnerable moment at a quiet park bench or during a chance meeting at the hospital, will she let slip the reality of her situation? Can Sasha maintain her composure amidst this emotional whirlwind, or will the truth spill out in a flood of raw confession? Michael's return, a catalyst for unspoken passions in Port Charles. The buzz in Port Charles reaches a fever pitch as news spreads of Michael Corinthos' imminent return after a transformative stint abroad at a serene wellness retreat. The town's residents, always hungry for gossip, speculate wildly about how his homecoming will stir the pot, especially for Sasha Gilmore Corbin, whose history with Michael is the stuff of whispered legends. Their past encounter, a whirlwind of passion during a stormy autumn night, left an indelible mark on both, a memory of shared vulnerability amid personal turmoil. Now, as Michael prepares to step back onto familiar ground, perhaps with a renewed perspective and a quieter strength, Sasha's heart is a battlefield of anticipation and dread. The mere sight of him, possibly sporting a newfound calm or a reflective demeanor, could reignite embers of a connection she's tried to bury deep. Locals are already placing bets at the corner coffee shop on whether their chemistry will flare once more, or if Sasha can steel herself against the rush of nostalgia. Will Michael's presence be the key to unlocking Sasha's suppressed desires, or can she keep her distance and protect the life she's built since that fateful night? A tangled heart, Sasha's inner struggle amidst Michael's return. Beneath Sasha's composed exterior lies a storm of conflicting emotions, intensified by the looming shadow of Michael's return to Port Charles. Every thought of him conjures vivid flashbacks to their intimate moment, a stolen evening under the glow of candlelight, where words were few but feelings spoke volumes. That night wasn't just a lapse in judgment, it was a profound tether forged through mutual loss and unspoken understanding, a bond she's struggled to sever. As she navigates her day-to-day life from mundane errands to charity events at the Quartermain estate, Sasha wrestles with a longing that threatens to overwhelm her carefully curated poise. What if Michael walks through the door at a community fundraiser, his familiar smile melting away years of restraint? The possibility of their paths crossing at a local art gallery opening or a spontaneous lakeside encounter keeps her on tenterhooks. Will this undeniable pull toward Michael compel Sasha to face the depth of her feelings, or will she cling to the safety of denial, burying her heart under layers of self-preservation? Emotional explosions on the horizon, Michael and Sasha's unfinished story. The stage is set for a cataclysmic reunion as Michael Corinthos prepares to reclaim his place in Port Charles, unknowingly poised to disrupt Sasha Gilmore Corbin's world in ways she can't foresee. Their shared history, rooted in a night of raw emotion during a torrential downpour, pulses with a chemistry that time hasn't dimmed. It was a moment when the world faded away, leaving only the solace they found in each other's arms amidst personal tragedies, a connection deeper than either anticipated. Now, with Michael's rumored return scheduled for the sultry days of summer, the air in Port Charles crackles with tension. Sasha, who has masked her turmoil behind a veneer of calm, might find her defenses crumbling at the first sight of him stepping off a plane at the local airstrip, his eyes searching the crowd. The risk of her concealed emotions erupting is palpable, especially as she carries a monumental secret that ties her irrevocably to him. Should Michael sense the undercurrent of her gaze or detect the tremor in her voice during a chance meeting at the farmer's market, the consequences could be seismic. Will their rekindled spark light a path to truth and reconciliation, or will Sasha's guarded heart and hidden burdens keep them forever at arm's length? Thank you for tuning in to this captivating exploration on the ABCGH Spoilers channel. The saga of Michael and Sasha promises heart-wrenching twists and turns as secrets simmer beneath the surface of Port Charles. What do you envision for their reunion? Will love conquer all, or will deception drive them apart? Share your thoughts and wild guesses in the comments below, and stay with us for the next thrilling update on this unfolding drama. See you soon with more spoilers and surprises.